So can we record this section? Can we record this section? And that's what we do.
Yeah, recording is there, but I cannot. Okay.
I don't know how it possible.
Why I am not able to share the screen? Okay. 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 Let me know once you can see my screen.
Yes, I can see it.
Okay. So today we'll start with a enterprise view because this is required from you that how this business agility works basically. I know people have covered a lot of things for you, but from an interview standpoint, I just want to cover this. How the requirements and the details are coming to the pipeline and how it is coming to the flow. It does not mean that whenever we are going to an organization, think that stakeholders are having some requirements and they are going to give you the requirement. It does not work in that particular aspect. So basically, what happens? So when we are building a product, or let's take an example, if we are working for an organization, they do have a plan session saying that, okay, hey, I want to have a planning for my next 2 to 3 years or 5 years for my organization. So what is needed for that perspective? So I need these things. I need compliance. I need a product. I need some technology. I need something. So there are different types of segmentation are there in the organization. So based on that the segmentations, the organizations or the enterprise, they define the theme. If it's a technical theme, if it's a compliance theme, if it's a mandatory CMS rules or any kind of rules which has been provided by the government, those kind of themes, or any kind of technology innovation. So those strategic themes, they are keeping it, and they are keeping certain budgets for them, saying that, okay, I want to put $1 million for this particular part, I want to put $2 million for that particular part, I want to put $3 million for that particular part. So it happens at the strategy level. So who does the strategies? There are advisory teams are there, basically. Enterprise architects are there, and the epic owners are there. So they do.
Sorry to interrupt you. For me, it's a bit clogged up. Can you explain me from the scratch? Like, you joined a company and what to expect in the first place. Like, okay, this the guy is going to reach to you out for the requirement point, and those are stakeholders. What is the difference between the
I didn't go there. I didn't go there. I am just explaining you right now how you are getting the requirement because you do not know how the requirements are coming to you. Let
yes,
me let
yes.
this. I will go to this because this part you are not involved.
Okay.
Okay, so
This
that's
is
what it is.
out of
How
my
how the companies are doing the planning. So we'll start from there. So the
okay.
companies are doing the planning. They are planning for complete year, 5 years, 6 years, or 7 years.
Hmm.
So they do make themes. What does mean by that? It's a strategy theme, saying that I want to build, I want to work with my competitors, I want to expand my business, I
Hmm.
want to make some technology innovation, I want to be whatever the theme could be applicable. We do not know that because they are the one who are competing in the market. They are the one who is making their business. So they
Hmm.
do define the strategic theme. Now the themes will be coming to the enterprise architects. They define the vision, saying that, okay, hey, I know we are going to do this particular product, or we are going to make some innovations over there, or we will be making an enhancement to that. But what it is going to look like, or how the vision is going to look like. So they work with the advisors and they build that particular part. Then what happens basically? It goes to the product management people. If it's a complete product from the scratch, then it goes to the product management or the stakeholders. Some people are mostly the stakeholder teams which are there. It goes to them. So now they do some kind of research, they do some kind of analysis. If it's for a client specific, if it is for some other specific, they do define that and they do capture some of the information. After these many things are getting done, it goes to a BA basically. So
So
the BA getting involved once all of these steps are done. BA is not aware of that what is happening at the back end. He does not know anything. Where he gets involved? He gets involved when the stakeholders or the product people are having certain requirements, certain informations where they can start discussing and where they can start some analysis on a detailed level. it does not mean that the BA has to own all the work. There will be multiple BAs will be there. There will be different types of streams will be there. It means that in a particular company, we might have hundreds of products or hundreds of projects will be there. The different BAs will be there, but the themes are getting driven from all those 100 projects. So whatever is there in the pipeline, they divided those things into 100 different projects or 100 different products. It goes to the respective BAs. Respective BAs are responsible for their own assigned part. So
Okay.
if we are making a product, if we are making a single product, 1 or 2, 3 BAs would be enough to do the analysis. Bigger product, bigger things. Example, Microsoft, they are building lot of hundreds, thousand BAs will be there. Everybody you will be responsible for their own work. Now coming to your point, you are going to an organization. You got hired, you are done with your interview, you got your access details. That's pretty much same. And you already working at the particular process. You will get the KT process saying that okay, hey, what are the KT, and that's the only scenario where you can ask any questions, any concerns about the particular product and what the company's vision over there. Now, there are two things which happened over there. The first one is if you are joining as a BA from a scratch, it means that they're starting the process from a scratch means there are no product existing. So they
Okay.
might give you an overview or a kickoff for the process because nobody knows about that. So the stakeholders or the business partners, they are responsible to give you a vision over it. Now, the second scenario, you are hired as a BA, the project is already running because that happens most of the time. You might not get a business overview because the product is already running. Stakeholders does not care about that, okay, whether you are starting from scratch or starting from the end. They will be sharing you documents. Either your project manager will be sharing you documents to go through those vision and the aspect and start building your knowledge. But you can utilize your team's capability to build your process, to build your knowledge. So there the knowledge comes to the factor because if you have the knowledge about the particular product, then only you can go and you can work over it. So two aspects: you joined as a scratch or you joined as a build. That happens in most of the organizations. Because
So,
yes, go ahead.
if I join as a domain expert, for instance,
Uh-huh.
and meaning that I have a prior experience, that's where they acquired me, right?
Uh-huh.
Then initially they give some sort of compliance page or documentation, whatever the previous existing product. Then I have to go through that thing. Then I have to give my suggestions on my from next month, right? In general,
It
I'm
does not mean
asking.
that you have a timeline. Okay.
Okay,
So
okay.
it depends on when they will be assigning you work. So if you are having 10 years experience, they will be assigning you work from the next day. Could be possible. Sometimes it could be 1 week, it could be 2 weeks. Depends on the project timelines and the constraints over when they are expecting.
Okay.
Okay.
For
Now
me,
the KT, yeah, go
yeah,
ahead.
yeah. Sorry to interrupt. Let me know if I'm interrupting your maybe subjective.
No, no, that's
So, for instance, if interview guy asks me, "Hey, how do you generally start when they give you initiated a project?" Like you didn't go through that, but I'm just understanding like in a perspective where you said that there is a once they discuss on the back end, like enterprise architecture, they discuss what the project should be initiated next 1 year. Then the product management, what the portfolio the product management, they decided, okay, we have to go certain flow and we have to go with certain UI parts and whatever the thing. um I don't think so UI part will be decided prior to that, but
UI path will not be
yeah,
getting
yeah,
decided.
yeah.
Only the vision will be getting decided.
Vision. So once
Yes.
how often the project manager will be there in every company? Because I'm asking only because the company that I worked on, they have a product owner, a product management team. They product management, she only take care of like BA aspect. She write the user stories, she writes the she drive the entire project. Of course, their duty is entire project. um like BA, most of the time she do it, like product owner is BA only. But you mentioned here project management, that once it go to decide the certain flow, then they go product man, then they decide, go through they do brainstorming, then they will allocate the BA certain task, right? That's what you said, right?
Yes, yes.
What is the difference between BA and what these guys do, the product management team do, and how can I explain what is the difference over there?
Okay,
Like, can you
product.
explain
See,
me?
the product management people are seeing the overall product. So a product is not consist of one team. One team cannot make a single product. Multiple teams will be there. Now the product managers decide that what needs to be done, how it needs to be done, which team is going to work on that, how the requirements will be getting flown to the team. Okay. Now it's BS responsibility is to take their own team's requirement to write them, develop them, and work with the team to deliver them. That's the responsibility of a BA over there. Now we know
So
BS jobs are BS jobs are getting replaced with the product owners, but it does not mean saying that product owners are the product managers. The product manager who decides and drives the complete product architecture. They drive that. It's their responsibility. So let's take an example. I am making a application. The application is going to have a front end, it is going to have a back end, it is going to have the connector. Now I might have 2 teams or 3 teams. So now I am a product manager. I decide that if the front end will be worked by this particular team, the back end will be worked by this particular team. And what are the dependencies are there? Then I'll be assigning those respective BAs, saying that okay, hey, we have these many requirements. Let's connect with our stakeholders. Let's try to know more what they are expecting. We have smaller lines of requirements because when we develop a particular vision, we do not have the concrete requirements. We know that this is what we will be doing, but in detailed manner, we never get that. We got it when we are assigning those works, and sometimes it happens that BS does some of the analysis, saying that okay, hey, this is already existing, or this process is already existing. So those are the work which needs to be done by a BA, saying that okay, the initial analysis part, impact analysis, then it will come up with their suggestions. Then only we start discussing about that.
okay, so I will be constantly taking update from the product management team, and
Yes, ideally. So
ideally,
sometimes what happens in USA right now, the product management is scarcity. So the product owners are playing as a product manager over there. So the analysts nowadays they are connecting with the product owners to get their requirements because product owners are owning the requirement. So whatever the product owner tells, the analyst has to do that. That's how it is working right now. But ideally, it's the product manager's job.
product management. So now, yeah, I observed like, I mean, BA and product management team is pretty much similar. They do pretty similar work. But the product management team is like too much involved on the user interface, user and product, right? If I'm not wrong, that's what they.
No, not in the user. They are most involved in the budgets, vision,
Achha.
strategies, and acquisition.
Acquisition. So tomorrow, I can explain in the meeting or like interview. Who do you get interviews requirements? Mostly, I can say that okay, my project man, there is a team that already decided. I mean, you can explain me later, but I'm just understanding like, okay, I don't want to waste your time also. Yeah, I mean, I got it, basic idea, I got it, like, I have to take requirements from this project management team, and if I also will be involved with the higher hierarchy team also, right? Like, strategic team, portfolio vision, those teams also I will be
No,
involved in that.
you will not be getting involved with those strategic themes and the portfolio vision. That's the product manager's work. They will be
Achha,
they will
okay.
be working with them. See, that's why. Let me go through this scenario by scenario. So it's a portfolio team over here. So here, on the overall work, how my business is going to work, that is getting decided on the top. It could be only business people will be there. It could be architects only would be there. Depends on the kind of product, depends on the kind of vision. Then it goes to a solution. It means that the solutions will be done by the solution. It means that now let's take an example. I want to build a vision which might consist of 10 products. I do not know how to do that. Product may have interdependencies, might not have interdependencies. something we will do a solution saying that okay, we will make the products one by one. That kind of discussion happens. Okay, again, you are not involved in this. Is done by the solution management teams are there. Same architects can play as a solution management. Same owners can be played as a epic owners or something will be there. They will. Now, when we go to a delivery, because this is a delivery over here. The matrix is called a delivery matrix. Okay. So this is from a agile perspective, the delivery matrix is required. So what are the things getting involved? Now we got a gist saying that what we need to do. It is in a high level. We go in a detailed level over here. We do our design thinking. We can interact with the customers. We write those requirements. We make those backlogs. We assign those backlogs to our business analyst. Business analyst go and defines more and more detailed scenarios to the backlog. Okay. Any questions, any concerns? Again, we are going back to our stakeholders or the customers, asking them questions, get them clarified, keep them over there, document each and every scenario, keep the flowcharts, keep the details ready. Then we go and discuss the details with the team. Until or unless we are not clear, we should not discuss the things with our team. Means if we get all the requirements, all the details, all the use cases which are there, okay, in that case, we go and we discuss with the team. Now, there are two aspects in the essential solution. The first aspect is, let's take an example. What if you are working for a consulting industry? So there are two types of industries will be there. So you are working for a product industry, you are working for a consulting industry. Product industry, you will always have the product manager who will drive this area. Now you are working for consulting. It means that you are a consultant BA, you have a client side. Now the client side
Meaning
might have a product manager. Sorry.
for instance, I work for the TCS, then I go there. That's what you're saying.
TCS is not into consulting; they're into services. They are doing the maintenance.
I got you. I got you. For instance, like there is an application that used by another customer, and you will be interacting with that customer.
Yes. So consulting means we are going and we are making the product on behalf of others who are not having the capability. We provide the suggestion. Now consulting BAs are having more exposure rather than the product BA. Why? The product side, the product managers are driving each and every conversation. Now, if you're working for a consulting company like Deloitte, KPMG, or any other things, so they are the BAs are driving the conversation because they have a proper client over. Now, if someone asks you a question saying that, okay, if you are putting your experience either into the product company, because from the resume they will know whether you have worked for a product company or you have worked for a consulting company. Now, the consulting BAs, then your responsibilities or your details would be, yes, I do have a client team which consists of subject matter experts, business owners, product peoples, and I do gather the requirements from there. So the client side, these things will be hidden to you completely. The enterprise solution, these completely customer centricity, that is also will be taken care by the client, because the client is only going to give you the requirement. They are not going to expose their customers. They are not going to expose any kind of interviews. They are not going to give you any kind of focus groups. Anything will not be given to you. So your only whole and full responsibility at the point of contact is the client. As soon as you get as much as information possible, you need to extract the information from them and get them documented. That's how the consulting industry works. And you can also propose your thoughts, saying that, okay, now I gathered my requirements, I got the gist of that. Now I want to propose something, saying that, okay, this product should be looking like this, or this scenario should be looking like this. That's your responsibility because you are a consulting BA. Rather than in the product companies, what happens? The product managers are deciding that the particular factor, because they already have these particular things designed. They already exposed the information to the customers. They got the gist, and yes, you are there to analyze the current processing, that current product process, and you need to provide your suggestions over there, and that is internal to your company. Thus, the differentiation happens between the consulting BA and a product BA. Question,
Okay.
concern,
Basically, basically, I mean, I understood total scenario, but I will be taking a lot of effort if I'm working for a consultant company, right?
yes, a lot of things.
Okay. Because I will be acting as a bridge between the end customer and the service company. So I will be
Yes,
taking all the requirements from
yes,
them.
yes, that will be there. And sometimes what happens nowadays, people are replacing the Scrum Master role as well. They're
Yeah.
expecting the BS to take care of the team. If you are 10 years of experience or 8 years of experience or 9 years of experience, they're expecting the team should be driven by you because you are the BA, you are getting the requirement, you are providing the requirements to the team, you are taking the status from the team, thinking okay, whether the requirements are proper or improper or anything or any blockers which are there. So they're expecting that you should also play as a scrum master role. Why they want to keep another guy? I have seen in multiple organizations these scrum master roles are getting replaced.
I saw it. I saw it like not frequently, but I also saw like some people taking the Scrum Master role. But I don't think so. They will be doing every defined step that Scrum Master is supposed to do it because, like if we do that, arranging meetings, facilitating meetings, are those things are too much headache, right? If I'm not wrong.
Yeah. Okay. So
But
let's go into more details over here. Okay.
okay,
Now as a BA, now we know that. So we have two types of backlogs out there. One is called a program backlog. Another one is called a team backlog. Now over here, the portfolio backlog was there. Portfolio means it happens across the organization. In organization, 100 teams, 200 teams, whatever would be there, it happens at the portfolio. Now when it comes to the program is applicable to you, means to your product. Your product is having one team or two teams. We call that as the art. The short form is called art, which is called an agile release trail. It's an interview question. They will be asking you a question saying that, are you part of an art or you are not part of an art? Most of the people don't know about that. And what is your art style? So it means that whenever you are working for a company in a agile methodology, if they are working for the same product, if one team is there, then we do not consider that as an art. If multiple teams are there, bigger product, then we call them as art because everyone is working for the same product and they will be sharing the same release. It means that if I have a product, I have 2 to 3 different parts. It has been worked by 3 different teams. Everyone's work should be going to one release. Then only the product will work or the integration will work. Otherwise, it will not work. So the program level scenarios are basically comes for a particular art. So there are scenarios in that you are joining a very small company. There is nothing called these particular scenarios would be there. Okay, they will simple get the requirements based on their stakeholders and they will give you. That could be also possible. I have seen the scenario, but this is a basically overall step which happened across the organization. So the program level backlogs also will be defined by the product owners or the managers. You need to work with those people to get your team level backlog. It means that whatever your team level requirements are there, you need to work with them to get those requirements. Now, while getting those requirements, you might go for design thinking, you can go for your plan, you can go for reviews, whatever will be required for you, you can go and you can do. You can work with your solution architect to get them solution, the technical solution. Then based on that, the solution, you can go and you can break your team level backlog into features or user stories, whichever would be applicable to you. So this is how the process works. Questions, concerns, let me know.
so you said ARC, right? ARK. That's what
Art. It's called Agile Release Trail.
art. That's what you said.
Yes.
Okay, gotcha. Um, so basically you are saying that if what of the work I've done, if which is dependent to other team, I have to wait until the team supposed to go live, right? For extra, there is an
No,
experience. No, right?
it doesn't work like that. I didn't go to that. Think
Oh,
that whatever we are also planning, just think that if both the teams' work is not going parallelly, can you deliver a product? Can you tell a product is complete? You
both
both are
the
working for the same product. You
both
both are working for the same product.
acha.
If these things are not getting delivered on time from both the teams, can you
Hmm.
tell that the product is complete?
No, of course.
That's how. Dependency part we will go in the next phase. First, understand the need of a product.
So this is basically release calendar. That's what you're saying.
No, I am not talking about the release calendar. I am
Acha.
talking about people who are sharing. Okay, how you are going to define the release? I thought you might be covered. You have knowledge on that particular aspect as well, or they have covered you. Okay, now when we go and define a product, okay, there are certain timelines has been defined by the product, saying that okay, so and so that we need to finish that particular one. How we do that? So when we define a solution backlog over here, saying that we define a timeline, saying that after 6 months or 8 months, this product should be getting completed. This is the budget for that the particular product. This should be getting completed. Now, when it comes to the team level, if after 8 months I need to complete my work, now it's the product manager's responsibility or the stakeholders' responsibility is to divide that work among the teams, saying that they can hit that the particular timeline. So if multiple teams are working, then they should be completing those work within 6 months. Now, Agile allows us to go in an incremental fashion. It means that we can have multiple releases. So let's take an example. One module work has been done. I'll put it in the release. Module B has been done. I'll put it in the release. I know we'll be go live on after 6 months, but I can have multiple releases so that it will not impact any of the delivery. Now, when I am putting the module A work, I need to check that whether the module A work is divided in between two different teams or it is only one team. If it is only one team, we do not have any issue. We have put it. If it is two different teams, how I am going to make sure that every work has been merged or not? Otherwise, my module A, how it is going to work? So based on that, we decide the dates and we keep the codes or we keep the products into the release for that. Now, again, it's decided by the organization with the help of the product people, with the help of the stakeholders. What are the necessities for the release? Whether we want to go for a release after 1 month, 2 months, 3 months, 15 days, and based on that, we share the work. Now, if both the teams are working for the same release, same product, then they are going to share the same pipeline over there. You might be knowing the concept of the continuous delivery pipeline. So same pipeline means their codes will be going in the same pipeline, same branch over there. So they need to merge among themselves so that the product testing can be done. Now, as a QA, whenever you will be doing an end-to-end testing or a regression testing, you should be having the knowledge of both the teams' work. Saying that, okay, this product is worked by both the team, so my product should not break over there. So this pipeline will be getting released by both the teams over there. And this is called the agile release trend. It's a continuous delivery pipeline. It means that first as a BA, we are doing a continuous exploration. I have two teams, two BAs, they did the exploration. Now they define the work in both the respective team. The team has worked on that. They put the code over there, which is getting integrated. My team also put the code, other team also put the code. Then it goes for the deployment. Lastly, it goes for a release. This process is called agile release trend. So the teams are getting defined in the agile to go to the release trend. It's not a release calendar. It's a process. If one user story is completed, two user story is completed, three user story is completed, it should be put into the pipeline. Hope it makes sense.
I understood overall, like, but I will go through this video again, but understood basic idea, like, how it integration works.
Yes. So basically, this is how it happens. And the intent of agile is to go for the continuous delivery pipeline. That's why we are going in an agile fashion. Now, after these things happened, so the release on demand comes to the picture. So why? So the release on demand, again, it's a on demand. What does it mean by on demand? It is driven by the organization or it is driven by the stakeholder. When do they need that? So in order to meet their demand, we need to plan our user stories and our features in an efficient way, saying that we are hitting the time. That's the main job of a particular BA perspective. We need to plan in such a way that we should be hitting timeline. We should not tell that, okay, let them come, we will tell that we couldn't finish it, we couldn't do that. That's not the work of it. We need to make sure that we are delivering the things on time on a top notch. Now, while doing the delivery, we need to take a lot of things into the consideration. The first consideration, first the priority. You might be knowing that the priority aspect. What are the sizes? What is my team's capacity? What is my team's velocity? Okay, and what's the budget is there? Budget you are not going to take care. That will be taken care by other people. But these four aspects you need to take care and you need to work for that.
So
If you are
which four accepts? Can you come again? I just want to write
yes,
it down.
your team's capacity, velocity,
Okay.
priority of your work, okay, timeline. These four things you need to take into the consideration and you need to do your planning accordingly.
Timeline. Okay.
Okay. So once you have taken those into the consideration, then the release on demand will be coming into the picture. So this is an overall aspect of it. Now we will go back to our scratch process, how we will be defining each and every process in detail.
So release and demand in the sense, when you figuring out the product, so they will decide certain time. That's what we discussed, right? Certain
Yeah,
time.
depends on the customer, right? So when the customer needs that,
Yeah, that's what.
why you are building a product for a customer needs, right? If you are making a product for the bank needs it. The bank need to be go for a compliance. If you are making a product for Amazon or any other e-commerce one, they are having a certain timeline saying that okay, I want to get rid of this old product, I want to go for a new product. They do have a certain timeline. So that's how the customer decides, and we need to adhere that. If the customer is going to tell, if you are going to give the customer saying that okay, it will take